Most phone comparisons today are predictable. The iPhone wins on cameras, while Samsung wins on features. But this one isn't that simple. After living with the Z Fold 7 and the iPhone 17 Pro Max for about 2 months, I realized something, that these phones are not competing on specs anymore. Instead, they are competing on how you live with your phone. And that changes everything. Let's start with the part that matters the most after the honeymoon phase: daily use. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is exactly what you expect it to be: solid, dense, and reassuring. The edges are softer than those of older Pro Max phones. It sits comfortably in the hand. I'm holding it and it feels like I'm holding a very handy and smooth device. It's a phone you don't think about, you just use it. The Fold 7 feels completely different. Folded, it's narrow and easy to grip. Just like any traditional bar phone, it's almost as thick as the 17 Pro Max. Unfolded, it stops feeling like a phone altogether. It becomes a small slim tablet that feels like a futuristic device. And that shift happens dozens of times a day. Replying to messages, reading articles, watching videos, or just scrolling. You don't need to unfold it every time, but once you do, it definitely feels superior. It's so light and thin that you almost feel like you're holding a piece of cardboard. Both devices have stereo speakers. Here's a sound sample. Although the Z Fold 7 matches the 17 Pro Max in terms of loudness, the iPhone sounds richer because its speakers have more room inside to push more air. Build-wise, both these phones have an aluminum frame. The iPhone has an aluminum unibody and the Z Fold 7 has armor aluminum. And I know, slab phones will always be more durable than the Folds. But interestingly, the iPhone 17 Pro Max is getting scratched pretty easily. Multiple users have complained that the iPhones are picking up damage. Even my 17 Pro Max is scratched, and I've been using it with a case since the start. I've got the silver color, so the scratch is not that visible, but it's there. Meanwhile, my Z Fold 7 that I've been using without a case has no visible signs of any scratch or damage on the body. Although the middle camera lens has picked up a tiny scratch. I don't know how it got there because I've been really careful with it. But besides this, there's nothing on the body. It definitely feels more premium and is more resistant to daily wear. But out of these two, the iPhone has IP68 water and dust resistance, while the Z Fold 7 has IP48. It can still handle splashes, but naturally, it's not as damage-proof as the iPhone. The iPhone 17 Pro Max's screen is definitely one of the best. It's a color-accurate, incredibly smooth 120Hz display that is excellent outdoors with 3000 nits of peak brightness. If you ever only want one display and you want it flawless, this is it. The bezels are super thin, and it has an anti-reflective coating. Although not as good as Samsung's, but it's got it. The Fold 7's display are about flexibility. None of them comes with an anti-reflective coating, but all of them are 120Hz. All displays are super bright for outdoor use with 2600 nits of peak brightness. The outer display handles quick tasks comfortably, while the inner screen completely reshapes content consumption. Reading long threads, reviewing photos, editing videos, or watching content side by side. It's simply more functional. And this one you'll have to decide for yourself. Do you want a single flagship display or a versatile triple display setup with marginal compromises? Powered by the A19 Pro chip, the 17 Pro Max feels surgical. Apps launch instantly, animations never stutter, and performance is consistent no matter what you throw at it. Apple's optimization still sets the benchmark. The Snapdragon 8 Elite on the Fold 7 matches that speed but uses it differently, running 3 apps at once, dragging content between windows, resizing layouts on the fly. This is where Android and the foldable form factor stretch their legs. Neither is better universally, they're just optimized for different thinking styles. As for the gaming, the 17 Pro Max does have an edge because games are often better optimized for iPhones. Like for Genshin Impact, the iPhone has 120 FPS support. And even though the Z Fold 7 can handle 120 FPS, it still gets 60 FPS support on it. In the boot-up test, the Z Fold 7 is consistently the faster one to turn on. In app opening speed, it is neck to neck. They both perform really well. I ran 3D Mark test on both phones and these are the scores. The Z Fold 7 scored higher at 6463 with an average frame rate of 39. whereas the 17 Pro Max scored 5981 with an average FPS of 36. But benchmarking aside, if you ask me which is the more powerful out of these two, then it's the iPhone. But it's not like the Z Fold 7 will leave you yearning for more. It's good enough for 99% users. For general day-to-day tasks, both phones will handle whatever you do on a smartphone without getting too hot. The iPhone 17 is still the device I trust blind for cameras. Point, shoot, record, done. Photos look natural, videos are stable and cinematic, and audio capture remains best in class. It's boring in the best possible way. And this year, with the upgraded square center stage selfie camera, I can capture landscape photos and videos without rotating the phone. The Fold 7 cameras are good, sometimes great, but they're not class-leading. Where it wins is flexibility. Using the rear cameras for selfies, filming hard-angle shots, or propping up the phone halfway open for recording without a tripod. These are things that slab phones simply can't do. This is a 4K video sample from both phones, captured at 60 FPS. The Z Fold 7 can shoot 8K videos at 30 FPS, while the iPhone can shoot 4K videos at 120 FPS. Here are some photo samples. The iPhone captures slightly warmer photos, while the Fold captures photos with colder tones. The iPhone has better details. The Z Fold 7's cameras are great, but if I talk about consistency, then Apple wins. As for the battery life, the iPhone 17 Pro Max is really impressive. It's not gonna give you any battery anxiety. In my 2 months of usage, the iPhone easily lasts for a full day, even on heavy usage. Apple's power optimization is clearly superior. The Fold 7 depends on how you use it. Stick to the outer display and it holds up surprisingly well. Full day's usage is definitely possible. Use the inner screen aggressively and you'll feel the drain. But I guess that's the trade-off of carrying a tablet in your pocket. In terms of charging, the iPhone has faster 45-watt charging with 25-watt MagSafe charging. The Z Fold 7 has a slower 25-watt charging with 15-watt wireless charging support. But both phones take almost the same time to go from 0 to 100%. Choosing between these two is not a which is better decision, it's a personality test. Pick the iPhone 17 Pro Max if you value consistency, top-tier cameras, long battery life, and you want a device that disappears into your routine. Pick the Z Fold 7 if you multitask constantly, read a lot of ebooks and articles, edit content, or you want a device that adapts to you instead of the other way around. The Z Fold 7 doesn't replace the iPhone for everyone, but for the right user, it replaces both a phone and a tablet, and that's a powerful shift. So now, I'm curious, are you still Team Slab or are you ready for the foldable life?